You are listening to the Next Play podcast, the playbook for high-performing leaders who want to exceed their full potential. From walking on the Ole Miss football team at 5'7", 150 pounds and earning a full D1 scholarship, to coaching thousands around the world and working with massive organizations like IBM. I've learned countless lessons that I'll be sharing right here with you. Join me as I interview some of the most successful people so you too can learn how to focus on always moving forward by deciding, planning, and executing on the next play relentlessly. So today we're going to be talking about how to eliminate self-doubt. I can't tell you how many people that we talk to that really struggle with this, and in all areas, whether it's in health, wealth, relationships, just everyday life, social media. It is a huge challenge. It's a really big challenge. And so today we're going to talk about why we experience it. This is really cool, where it comes from, and 3 steps to overcome it. And then at the end, I'm going to challenge you. The 3 steps to overcome it are really powerful and something that every single person on this call can do every single day. Okay. And so the cool thing also about this is that it really only takes a couple weeks to get it out of your head and to figure out where it's coming from and then to solve the issue once and for all. So there's some of you on here that have actually solved that issue already, but the thing is that this comes and goes, right? Self-doubt comes and goes as you move forward in life, as challenges get more difficult, as you achieve more things, they come and go. And so let's jump into it. So first thing here is, why do we experience self-doubt? Why do we even experience it? And this was something I've been kind of going on a journey, and I've wanted to figure out why I experience self-doubt all the time and where it actually comes from. And what's cool is that it actually comes from a built-in self-defense mechanism. So we all have a self-defense mechanism inside of us that creates this self-doubt, and it's to protect us. It's to keep us safe. It's to keep us comfortable. That's legitimately what this is. It is to keep us comfortable. It's to keep us safe, and to keep you from making like drastic changes in your life. But we're learning quickly that in order to get to the next level, in order to get to places that you've never been before, you have to endure and experience change. And we talk about that. We will talk about that today, but that's why it's there. When you know that, it like changes the game. Like it's a mechanism, a self-defense mechanism that we all have. Everybody experiences it, to keep us safe, to keep us protected, right? And to keep us from potentially going into dangerous areas, right? And your mind tells you this and keeps you from this change so that you stay comfortable and you're safe, right? But obviously we know that in order to get to the next level, we have to get out of that, right? And you hear people say this all the time, and it drives me absolutely insane. Like, get outside your comfort zone. It's like, no shit, Sherlock. But the real question is how. And so that's what we're going to continue to talk about today. So where does it actually come from, though? We know why we experience it, but where does it come from? And this is really powerful. There's actually 3 places that self-doubt can come from. And I really want you to pay attention to this, because as you go through this journey, you're going to see that you either resonate with 1, 2, or all of these places. And before you can eliminate it, you must figure out where it's coming from. Like, there's no way around it. You have to figure out where it's coming from. So let's make it really simple for you. There's 3 places that self-doubt can come from. It can come from things that have happened in your past. Okay. So you failed in the past at things. So you've created self-doubt at it. So for example, you want to get the man of your dreams or the girl of the dreams, but every time you go and talk to a new girl or a new guy, you get rejected. And so when it comes to doing it for a new time, you are in doubt. You doubt yourself because you're like, wow, well, I failed the last 500 times. And it's the same thing. Like if you're making cold calls, for example, and you failed the last 20 cold calls you made, you're going to feel self-doubt because of your past failures. So number 1, it comes from your past. Number 2, it comes from fear of what can happen in the future. fear of failure in the future, fear of rejection in the future, right? So you have something that you want to do, something you want to achieve, and you start to feel, oh my God, like what if I fail at that? What if it doesn't work out? And so you immediately start to create self-doubt. I can't do it. It's not for me. I'm not talented enough. I'm not good enough. The world is up here and I'm down here. Actually, I had a really good coaching call on Saturday, and this is what we talked about. I feel like, this is what he said, his words were, I feel like everybody's up here and I'm down here. I feel like everyone's better than me. Everyone's smarter than me. Everyone's more talented than me. Everyone knows how to work out better than me, eat better than me, make money better than me. And I feel here. And so this is the second main reason why we create self-doubt. And this is probably the biggest one. And then the third one, and this is really, really important. The third one comes from the outside world. So the first one is you're thinking about all your past failures. The second one is you're fearing what could happen in the future. And the third one is just the outside world. So this is going on Facebook, Instagram, social media, people commenting, talking bad about you. You're going into work and people talking bad about you. It's your environment. It's the things around you that are creating self-doubt. If you're constantly hearing from a friend or a parent that you suck at doing something, then you're going to create self-doubt, right? So the first two, what's interesting is that the first two come from you. So 2 of the 3 actually come from you. So that's really cool because obviously we can change those quickly. And I'm going to share with you how to do that today. So there's 3 steps. Always like to keep things simple, always like to keep things very systems oriented. But before we jump into this, I want to ask you a question, and there's no need to talk. You can chat it if you want. But I have an important question for you. And just from thinking right now, and maybe what is resonating with you is, where do you feel like self-doubt is coming from in your life? Is it coming from your thinking of past failures? Whenever it is that you have, whatever it is that you're trying to achieve, the body that you want, the income that you want, the relationship that you want. Is it coming from, oh my God, the times I failed in the past and I just can't stop thinking about that? Is it coming from fear of the future, fear of rejection, fear of the unknown? Is it coming from, oh my God, what will people think about me? What will my friends think of me? What will my colleagues think of me? What will my coworkers, my teammates, what will they think of me? I want you to think for a second, where is that with you? What's up, Brandon? Where is that with you? And I'm going to challenge you to really get that out of your head here in a second. So how to eliminate self-doubt in 3 easy steps. Number 1, you have to get it out of your head. Like, this is probably the easiest of all of them. You have to get it out of your head. I'm telling you right now, self-doubt, sometimes we get so bombarded, right? We have so much going on. We got to go to work. We got to go to workout. We got to go to family. We got to go to kids practice. We got to go to this. We got to go to church. We got to go to this thing and this thing. And we got so many things going on and we feel self-doubt all the time. We don't know where it's coming from, but I can guarantee it's only coming from 1 or 2 or maximum 3 things. And if we can narrow those down, we could solve that problem and boom, you're off to the races. Because the second you have no more self-doubt, and you have what? The opposite, confidence. Oh, man, you can do anything. Right? So you have to get it out of your head. The first step is to spend a few days, 2 to 3 days, typically maximum. Don't do it over the weekend. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday is perfect. Today is a perfect day to start this. You can use the notes on your phone. You can use your journal, whatever. It doesn't matter. But I want you, every time you feel self-doubt, I want you to write it down. Just write it down. Literally, I'm feeling self-doubt right now, and here's what I'm thinking about. I'm feeling self-doubt right now. Here's what I'm thinking about. I'm feeling self-doubt right now. Here's what I'm thinking about. That's it. Don't overcomplicate it. Keep it super, super simple. That's it. I'm feeling self-doubt. Here's what I'm feeling. And what you're going to see is, oh my God, I'm feeling self-doubt over the same few things. That's it. I'm feeling self-doubt over the same few things. So that's number 1, just get it out of your head. Sometimes even with getting things done, if you haven't read that book by David Allen, I say it almost like every other week. But when you get things out of your head, you have so much more clarity. You can be creative. You'll accomplish so much more in general. But you'll see, like, things always aren't as bad as we think they are, and they aren't always as good as we think they are, right? And so if you're in a place of being stuck and maybe even anxiety or depression, which is all comes from self-doubt, let's get it out of your head and figure out why. Then we can solve the problem. Number two, so number one, get it out of your head. Number two, let's find the lesson. This is the hardest part. Richie, this is by far the hardest part and the most frustrating part, because this is the stuff you hear all the time. Like I love Tony Robbins. I don't as much anymore. I used to listen to him all the time, and he would always say, find the lesson in that. And I'm like, shut up. Like, I don't want to find the lesson. Like, I'm frustrated. But it is really true. It is really true. In this particular situation, in order to solve the problem, we have to find the lesson. Okay. This is extremely hard to do. So this is specifically for like when it's reoccurring too. Like every time you do something at work, or when you're approaching boy or girl, or when you're making a cold call, you're feeling self-doubt, you have to figure out why. You have to figure out why. So, okay. So let me give you a really, really good example. And this is one because I talked to it on Saturday. Okay. So this person was making cold calls, and every time he would make cold calls, he would feel self-doubt, and he would feel self-doubt because, very simply, he didn't know how to respond when certain things were said. And so really all he needed to do to fix that self-doubt was to practice. It was to practice what the responses were. And I'll give you another example. So when I first started speaking, I had no idea how to speak. I had no idea what to do on stage. And, you start on this side, and then you go to this side, and you do this thing, and you do that thing. Like, I didn't know how to do those things. And so I went up on stage for one event, and I was like literally sweating. My heart was pounding out of my chest. I was like, I'm not good enough. I'm not talented enough. Why am I up here? And I quickly realized that all I needed to do was to figure out and gain confidence in getting up on stage. So I joined Toastmasters and I just got up on stage and like once a week went up there and spoke. And then it got easier and easier, and then bigger stages. And now I don't even think about it. Right. So we have to find the lesson. Like, what is the lesson? For example, we have this a lot. So people are scared to work out on their own, and you have to ask yourself, why? Why is that creating self-doubt for you? Because maybe you don't know how to do a certain thing, or you're not sure if it's the right thing, right? So it's just figuring out why. You're going to write down when you're feeling it and why what you're feeling. Then we just have to figure out what's causing that feeling. That's finding the lesson. Just what is causing that feeling? So that's number two. And then number three, you have to make a change. This is building off the second one, extremely hard, because our body creates self-doubt. Like literally, our body creates self-doubt as a self-defense mechanism to keep us from change, to keep us feeling safe. And so you're saying I have to make a change? Yes, you have to make a change. So there's three changes that you have to make. All right. So one, get it out of your head. Two, find the lesson. And three, make a change. And this is a physical change, an environment change, or you have to change your experience. The experience I added to this is something I learned recently from a mentor of mine. His name is Chris West. And so it's extremely powerful. I'm going to share that at the end. So there's three changes you have to make: a physical, an environment, and your experience. It goes really, really deep. That's like really sticky. It's really deep. And I'm going to wait till the end to share that. So it's fresh. So change your physical state. The easiest thing to do is to change your physical state, right? Work out, run. You see people do this. They'll in the middle of their day, they've got, challenge after problem after problem. They go to the bathroom, they may get ice cold water and they put it on their face. Like, that's changing your physical state, right? Another great way, and this is something Tony Robbins always says, is he says, stand by your office put one foot up on your chair, put your shoulders back, and like you change your state and you put yourself in, they call it a power position, right? Now, there's a reason that people get addicted to working out. They get addicted to working out because it changes your physical state, right? Because it releases endorphins and that makes you feel really good, right? And so this is one of the most powerful things you can do to switch you out of self-doubt, right? So one is to change your physical state. I don't want you to feel self-doubt. So change your physical state, do something. And so actually we have, is she still here? She's still here. I think maybe she got disconnected. Okay. So, is she? Oh, I think she got disconnected. Okay. So we have somebody who had an issue with going into the gym and actually changing their physical state because they were had so much self-doubt and pressure on actual doing the workout correctly. So don't do that. And don't do that. Don't worry about that. Like if you're worried about doing something incorrectly, like do something either easier, like more simplified workout, or use a machine. Okay. But don't allow being unsure to destroy your workout. Okay. So that's number one, change your physical state. Number two, you have to change your environment. This picture is really, really, really good for those of you that are here live or on YouTube. Like this is really, really good. Change your environment. If every time you go on Facebook and Instagram, you get a massive dose of self-doubt, then stop going on Facebook and Instagram. Like change your environment. If you have friends or family members or your, teammates or something that's just constantly destroying you, then you have to make a change. You have to change that, right? Now, Richie, what if it's a family member and I can't change that? Or what if it's a teammate and I can't change that? Well, you can do your best to avoid those scenarios as much as possible. But most of the time you can change your environment. So maybe it's not going on Facebook and Instagram, but it's removing friends that are constant, or people that are blocking people that are constantly commenting and being negative, or just learning how to let it brush off your back, like water off a duck's back, right? But you have to change your environment. If you're constantly in this environment, it's crushing you and you can't get rid of it, then you have to change it, right? So number one, change your physical state. Number two, change your environment. And number three, change your experience. And now this one is one that is something new that I implemented over the past year and is absolutely amazing. Okay. And this is about actually changing your state. So what do I mean by this? So our mind is as conscious as it speaks language, right? So English, like when we're thinking, we're talking to somebody, we're using words like it's English, right? Like, or whatever language you speak, but typically it's English. So you're speaking language, right? But your subconscious mind doesn't work that way. It works off of feelings, and feelings come from experiences, right? So even if you're using language and someone's, super, mean, for example, then that in itself is an experience. But I want you to think right now, real quick, about the experiences you've had that were really negative. And then I want you to think right now about the experiences you've had recently that was really positive. Okay. And this is about completely changing your state. All right. If you have something, listen to me closely on this. If you have something you want to achieve, but you get paralyzed by self-doubt, number one, you write out the end result. And then number two, this is the key. You write out the experiences you've had once you've achieved it. So let me give you an example. Richie, give me an example. What the hell are you talking about? So let's use fitness because it's really easy. You want a specific body. You want to look a certain way. All right. And you want to feel a certain way. So I want you to think about right now. You're going to do it right now. We're going to do this together. If it's work, for example, and you want to make a certain income or get a raise at your job, okay, I want you to think about that. And if you, let's use fitness, if you have a specific body that you want, I want you to think about that, okay, what that end result is. Okay, now that you're there, I want you to think about the experiences you will have when you achieve that. So when you have that dream body and you feel the way you want, what experiences would you have? Going to the pool with your kids and being able to take your shirt off, going to on dates and being able to command the room because you're confident. What would that feel like? What would that experience be like? If you can hang out with your group of friends and just know that you have so much energy and excitement, like what would that experience going out with your friends be like? Or running out of the tunnel onto the field if you're in athletics, when you have that, the speed you wanted or the body you wanted, what would that experience be like? I want you to think about the experiences you will have when you get there, and feel it. That is the game changer when it comes to your state. It is insane when you can actually feel it. There's something about, hey, I want this. I want to have this. Okay. That's fine. It's far away. It's very paralyzing. To take it a step deeper, though, it's not just I want to have this. It's what will my life be like? What experiences will I have? What will going to the beach be like? What will going to the pool be like? What will going to work be like? What will going on dates be like? What will your relationships be like? And literally have those experiences. And so what I do is every single morning, I write down my end result, and then I write down my experiences and my feelings from it. So I put a line down the center of the page and I write how it'll make me feel, or the experience, and then how it would make me feel. Excited, powerful, significant, whatever that is to you, whatever yours are. And that was a huge game changer for myself and self-doubt, because even when I was on the field at Ole Miss, I'm 5'7", 150 pounds, and I'm on the same field as with Michael Orr from The Blind Side. Like, I mean, I didn't fit in, right? And I had massive amounts of self-doubt. And it was always, I couldn't change my environment, right? So sometimes you can, sometimes you can't. But I was able to change my physical state all the time. Like, that was my thing in college. And I was constantly changing my physical state. And in business, I'm in the office. So I can't always go for a run in the middle of the day or in between certain things, but I can change and think about my experiences. And so that's a very quick way to redirect my mind, right? Is to change the experience. So this is like really, really, really important, really powerful. And I really wanted to share this with you today because it's been a game changer. And I hope it really, really helps you getting out of self-doubt. I really do, because I know it's a challenge. I know it's a struggle, and I know what it feels like because I've had it many times and all the time. Oh, okay, cool. What's up, Fila? I'm glad. I'm not sure why. Maybe it's under Gala. That's what the Gala is. So, cool. So, of course, every single week I have a challenge for you. And so my challenge for you this week is to number one, get it out of your head and keep it simple. Let's start there. Anytime you feel self-doubt, like, have a notes folder on your phone, or if you're like, everyone on my team who likes to write everything, have a small notebook, something you can put in your pocket, you can carry with you everywhere. And for 2 or 3 days, every time you feel self-doubt, write it down. Write down why you're feeling, when you're feeling like self-doubt, what you're feeling self-doubt, and how you feel. Just write it down. Don't overthink it. It doesn't have to be perfect, but just write it down. And number two, after you've written it down a bunch, you're going to find like 2 or 3, even 1, 2, or 3 maximum of why you keep feeling it. And so next to each one of those, I want you to write down the lesson. What can you learn from it? What problem do you have to solve to not feel that self-doubt anymore? And this is an ongoing thing, right? Like, you're going to get past this level that you're at now. And when you get to the next level, you're going to have self-doubt again. Right. So it's just like learning how to do this. It's a forever thing. It's really, really cool. So write it out. Then you write down what the problem you're going to solve, the lesson. Right. And number 3, I want you to change your state, right? Your physical, your environment, or your experience, or all 3, 2 or 3. It doesn't matter, whichever you can, but you have to make a change. You can't live your life in self-doubt. You just can't. I mean, you know, so many people that live their life in self-doubt, and it's paralyzing, it's demoralizing, and this is why people live an average life. This is why people live, they don't make what they want. They don't start the nonprofits that they want. They don't have the bodies that they want, and they complain and blame it on others. And so this is hard, what I'm sharing with you. It seems simple. It seems easy, but it's not. It's simple, but it's not easy. This is very hard. It's a very challenging challenge. But number 1, get it out of your head. Number 2, find the lesson. Number 3, write down what you can do to change the state, your physical, your environment, and your experience. So that's it. That's my challenge for you this week. And of course, as always, take absolute, insanely relentless action starting today. And you could start today by opening up your phone. I'm on my phone. Okay, that's cool. Opening up my phone, going to your notes, opening up a notes section, and literally titling it self-doubt. And then underneath it, start writing it in there. Just start writing it in there. And that's it. Just the beginning of the beginnings. All right. So it is 9:28. So that is what I have for all of you today. Thank you for listening to this episode of the Next Play podcast. If you liked the show, make sure to leave us a review. For more resources, visit relentlessuniversity.com or download the free Relentless University app. And if you're interested in having me speak at your next event, visit relentlessrichie.com. Until next time.